Well, who predicted that?
You did, Bruce, and now we're live, so you can rant about.
You did, Bruce, and now we're live. So you can.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear it now. Thank you.
do you have your?
Yeah, we can hear it now. Thank you.
Are you the one that has that up, or is that me? Oh, that's me. Oh, that's atrocious.
Rookie mistakes. It's okay.
You know what? It's fine, Bruce. Don't worry
Hey,
about it.
real quick though,
Real quick
guys,
though,
welcome back to another.
I got my
Hey,
shirt.
he's got the gear.
I got the
He's got
shirt,
the gear.
boys.
I
We
have
out here.
made my Truth Biscuit jersey. We'll get on that. Hold on a
Oh,
second. Let me
my
pour
word.
myself cold one real quick.
I just have my Coke.
That boy.
Coca-Cola,
I
to
have
be
my-
specific.
Anyway, all right.
There we go.
So let's get it going. All right. So, real quick.
Real quick.
Not to toot my own horn, but toot. I
Toot,
did call the Chicago Bears to lose to the Indianapolis Colts this past week, and dear
true.
God, what an ugly game that game was.
It was. It was bad.
Oh.
It was bad. I had to write a. Did I write a recap for that? No, I wrote a recap for the Seahawks game. No, but I watched, and it was depressing.
So the worst part about that game was I have plenty of things to rant about on this game. Well, we'll start.
The offense looked bad. Let's start with the play calling, because I know we both.
I texted you during that.
Yep.
Did I text? I think I did. No.
Yeah, no, you did.
Okay, fair. The play calling was terrible. Well, yes, the Indianapolis Colts have a great run defense. To completely abandon the run altogether was very disappointing.
It just disappeared.
Just disappeared. Just gone. Bye. And not only that, but can you please, Matt Nagy, stop calling a run every single time Cordell Patterson is in the damn game.
We get it.
know.
We get it. He can run.
Bro, the fact that I mean, I don't play in the National Football League. I don't coach in the National Football League. I'm just some schmuck who has a mom and pop freaking show that it's still rocking his Trubisky jersey, saying that every time Patterson's in the damn game is going to run the ball to him, or it's going to be some bullshit toss, and that's it.
It's pretty obvious at this point.
100% it is. So why don't you utilize him in a position that the Patriots used him for, in a slot spot, or even, you know what? Because you don't want to use your second round pick, Cole Kmet, why don't you put him in the tight end spot?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I will say, a lot of Bears fans wanted Cole Kmet the last week. I don't know what happened. Jimmy Graham has been revitalized in Chicago.
Yes.
But you actually have to throw the ball to him for that to matter.
Well, speaking of throwing the ball, what I find interesting is how I had a lot of people coming at me,
really,
including some local radio guys, saying that the Truth Bisky is not the guy to go to right now and to relax, and Nick Foles is a much better quarterback. Did it look like he was a much better quarterback this past week?
He didn't really look like a quarterback the last week.
Excuse me. No, not at all. He, to be honest with you, no, I won't go that far. We won't be...
Go that far. Go that far, Bruce.
We won't go that far.
Do it.
However, I will say, everything that he did well against the Falcons was completely blown away by the Colts. And yes, the Colts have a way better defense than the Falcons do. I understand that. Before I get people talking crap to me saying, hey, dude, the Colts have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
That's true.
Blah, blah. And then the Falcons, they fold like paper.
Yep.
Let's not go. If he could have been at least half of what he was against the Colts.
He still had to execute.
I'm sorry, against the Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he still had to execute against the Falcons. That's still very difficult to do what he did, even against a team that chokes like they do.
Right. And the fact of the matter is, the funny thing is I was seeing people making comments of, well, maybe you start Trubisky and then bring in Foles at halftime. No, that's completely stupid. Stop talking.
Have an opener?
Yeah. No.
Bruce, statistically, there is some backing to that. It's the same concept of a pitcher's first time through the order. It's the same concept. The defense is so you can have
statistically, if I drink this beer, I might agree with you. At
no,
some
no, no,
point.
no, no. But listen, you know how there's the scripted 15 or 20?
Correct, I understand that.
You can have a different scripted 15 or 20 for both quarterbacks for the opening of the first half, the opening of the second half.
Right. But that also comes to the thought of in-game adjustments.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen very good in-game adjustments for this team right now.
Have we seen any?
You've seen some. No, you've seen some. I think last week you did see some at half. Did I? I might have been a little bit too inebriated to notice it at first, but watching some of it, they tried running the ball a bit more, and one of the things I kind of want to get to though is the fact that they are not utilizing their, and I crazily yelled about this at first, but the fact that Cole Kmet is not being used in this offense more.
Yeah.
So you have two problems here. Either he sucks right now, not getting the offense.
Yeah. Or
Matt Nagy's doing a terrible job of utilizing it.
Sure.
It's one of two things. And to be honest with you, if it's one of those two things, either are not very good for a Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah. In a vacuum, yes.
In a vacuum, correct. Either are not very good. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, too, a tight end is a quarterback's best friend.
Yes, that is very true.
Trubisky had what some would call a semi-successful year when he was a Pro Bowler, and yes, I get it, he was an alternate, but whatever, we won't even talk about that. It's still technically a Pro Bowler, so let's relax. That was when Trey Burton did well. By the way, the fact that Trey Burton even showed up on Sunday, shut up, dude. Get out of here. Why are you still in the NFL? Continuing. Man, I'm gonna get so much hate after like this.
No, I love it. I love it because I'll get plenty of crap after the rant I go on about how much I love Aaron Rodgers. So it's fine. Go for it.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I can tell. I'm jealous. People are gonna say like, Bruce, you need to grow your hair, grow your beard better. Yeah, I know. Well, whatever.
Get you an Aaron Rodgers beard.
Anyway, so God, tangent. I had too much juice, but no. What I was saying though was like it's just very disappointing that the fact that Cole Kmet is not being utilized more in this offense to help not only like fool's gold right now, but helping out Trubisky earlier when he was starting at quarterback. And mind you, I actually do think currently right now, unless you suddenly prove me wrong, Trubisky is a better quarterback option for the Chicago Bears right now and gives you a better chance to win after what I've seen. And I don't care what anyone says about him being a better Foles being a better quarterback, about Foles being a better option, this, that, and the other. I get it. I understand your thoughts. However, I don't think there's a reason why he had 1 year he caught lightning in a bottle, and there's I just don't like it. That's all I'm saying. Do I think Trubisky is the answer at quarterback? No. Do I think Nick Foles is the answer at quarterback? No. So that said, I don't think next year's quarterback is on that roster right now.
I think the entire country would agree with that.
Fair.
I don't think you could ask any reasonable human being, have them look at the Chicago Bears situation, and have them say, yes, Mitchell Trubisky is our guy, or yes, Nick Foles is our guy. Mitchell Trubisky, I don't like the trend that has been applied to quarterbacks, and Mitchell Trubisky was able to get out of this initially, but Dwayne Haskins, for example, labeling him a bust after 11 games and benching him. You need a full season of coach and quarterback. People don't realize the Washington football team almost messed up. The Washington football team is not well constructed. Like, they don't have a good football team. They're not good.
No.
They have a very good wide receiver. They have a decent running back. They have 2 good edge rushers, and that's it. Their secondary is trash. Their linebackers are trash. Their offensive line is trash. They have no tight ends, and they have no receiving game outside of Terry McLaurin. Dwayne Haskins has nothing to work with. So I don't like that trend. But after watching Mitchell Trubisky for 4 years, this is his 4th year, he's not the guy. Watching Nick Foles, I was the first one to say, he's a game manager. The problem is your defense is not as dynamic as it was in 2018.
Still a top 10 defense right now, though.
Right, but you need them to be number 1, and you need, with the quarterbacks you have and with the offense you have right now, you need them to be number 1, and you need it to not even be close in this galaxy.
Agreed.
And they're not there. So
they're not going to be. So I'm trying to, sorry to interrupt, MJ.
No, it's okay.
But the fact of the matter is we have a lot of delusional Bear fans, and I am too. Don't get me wrong. I still think there can be some success this year. However, the Bears defense is not the Bears defense of 2018.
Nope.
The fact that they're missing Eddie Goldman is significantly
hindering,
making this defense look pedestrian.
Yeah.
Or more pedestrian than it was. There's a huge impact there. And it's just very disappointing. There's a reason why that the defense going into last week was letting running backs run all over them.
Well, and at the same time, when you have David Montgomery, who I think is a top 15 running back in the NFL easily,
Great.
You don't have a rushing touchdown through 4 weeks. I don't care who you're playing. When you have a quarterback controversy, the one stable thing should be your running game. And when you have a defense like that, your one stable thing should be your running game. I'm not saying run 30 times a game, because in today's NFL, that really just doesn't work. Maybe if you play if they played the Colts that way, might have worked. If they were able to effectively establish the run, a lower scoring team like the Colts, you can get away with that. Most teams in the NFL so far this year, you're not getting away with that, but you still need to run some, and having crappy goal line plays, throwing it up to Jimmy Graham every time, bless his soul, he's been able to do a little bit for y'all, but that's not going to work every time.
Back shoulder all day.
And trust me, as a guy who's been watching Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre his entire life, I love the back shoulder more than everyone. But once in a while, you just need to slam it down their throat when you're on the 1 yard line. And that's the Packers this year, I have the opposite criticism. All they do is run when they're at the 1 yard line. I'm like, you have Aaron Rodgers. It's called play action. And when they do run play action, I don't know if you saw the first touchdown on Monday night to Aaron Jones. The closest person to him were the non-existent fans in the stadium. There was no one around him.
You know why? Because their offensive coordinator didn't put a play in that was predictable.
Right.
So real quick, I just got a text message. We're just so you guys know, we are flying by the seat of our pants tonight.
Yep.
We have no guests.
It's just me and Bruce.
It's just us, unfortunately. But we have a lot of interesting topics, and I have people texting me right now, asking me to talk to MJ about. We had one person just text me a little bit ago. He's a huge Astros fan, and he wanted to ask me, hey, what is MJ's reaction about the Athletics going down to his Astros?
And I know exactly who it is you're talking about.
You can say who it is.
It's Jason. It's Jason, right? Yeah, freaking Jason. Okay, Jason, now that I'm not a student. No, listen. The Astros did what the Oakland A's have been unable to do since Billy Beane is the general manager of this team. They've been able to establish an identity. And in a postseason where we don't have fans, at a neutral site, the Astros were able to establish themselves as the villain, which is not difficult to do in and of its own because they are the villain of the country right now when it comes to baseball, but they were able to feed off of that. looking at the way the Astros performed, their offense this year was worse than the A's. Their pitching was worse than the A's. The only thing that I was really excited about coming into this series was them not having Justin Verlander, because he kills the A's. He has since he was with the Tigers in 2011. He's just absolutely destroyed the Oakland A's for almost an entire decade now. So that made me feel a little bit better. But when I watched that first game, I knew they were done, because the A's could not keep them down. And Bruce, you know better than anyone what momentum can do for, or what momentum can do to a team. And when Ramon Laureano, the only way that Ramon Laureano can get the A's hyped up is literally screaming at them in the dugout. If it takes that manufactured energy and that manufactured passion, you're not going to win. The A's lost their leader in Matt Chapman to hip surgery about 20 games ago. I don't think that can be underplayed at all. I love Jake Lamb. I love Chad Pinder. They're not Matt frickin' Chapman. They are not a platinum glove, potential silver slugger winning third baseman who is arguably, tied with Nolan Arenado, the most all-around baseball player that we have right now. You can't replace that. You can't replace his leadership. With that being said, the A's still should have won the series. They were still the better baseball team, and they've made the same mistake that they've been making my entire lifetime. They can't win elimination games. When they're down, they go down. And I was just shocked that they won Game 3.
Well, technically, they did enter an elimination game against the White Sox too, though.
Yes,
they
did.
It was 1-1.
Yeah, they won. That was the first elimination game. I believe it was 9 in a row up to that point they had lost. The last 9 elimination games. So
Okay.
I'm not surprised at all. I was hopeful because of how amazing their bullpen was, but their bullpen wasn't good in this series. So when your strongest part of your team, your pitching, doesn't do well, there's nothing you can do about that. Now, granted, they technically haven't lost yet. It's still 11-6. They're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose. I have no doubt about that. I'm gonna pull up the ESPN GameCast. Just why not? Also breaking news: Titans-Bills game is moved to Tuesday.
That's great news because that's just more football during the course of the week.
Exactly. But yeah, it's top of the ninth, 2 outs. A's are down 11-6. Chad Pinder's up. I have no confidence that they're gonna win this baseball game. I think I'm very disappointed because in a normal season, let's be honest, in a normal 162 game season, the Astros would be demoralized on a daily basis, getting booed across the entire country. Over a 162 game season, the A's would have proven to be a significantly better baseball team.
It's so bitter.
I mean, I'm more bitter because this is what the A's do. I'm not necessarily. It's very 2020. If the Astros win the World Series, it's the most 2020 thing that could happen.
Dude, and like one of the best things I've heard and read during the Astros run, I guess, for lack of a better term,
yeah,
is that they're making more and more people angry.
Yeah.
Because they are now doing it without the ability to cheat.
However, I take away that because they're doing it in neutral environments.
And that's fair.
So
and that's fair. It's completely fair.
I think playing in a neutral environment has the same worth statistically, and I don't know how much this is true, but I would argue it has the same worth statistically as stealing signs. Playing in a neutral environment.
I don't know the stats behind that, but gut reaction, as you just saw, I would disagree. Because if you're able to know, and you of all people know this because you playing the game of baseball, if you know the pitch that's coming, that's a huge advantage.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're going against a guy that has absolute ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. However, even this year, the Astros did better at home than on the road. So when they're in an environment that favors them. It's not so basically the A's still had to travel. They
Right.
still had to travel to LA even though they got the home clubhouse, things like that. The A's still had to travel. So there's a lot of things like that where part of it is the Astros have been in a World Series. They know how to motivate themselves when there's 40,000 LA Dodgers fans screaming obscenities at them. You want to know how easy it is to motivate yourself when there's no one in the stands screaming at you and hating you? It's a lot easier.
Is it? Because I'm going to
Yes.
tell you right now that adrenaline rush of fans like cheering for you as a home team, there's nothing like it.
I'm talking about away. I'm talking about getting screamed at.
Fair.
So the A's, their first 2 games, the Oakland A's fans in the playoffs, that's the only time they show up, is in the playoffs. But in the playoffs, they show up, and they're rowdy, and you have the drums banging in right center field, and you have a ridiculous crowd. The A's didn't have that in the first 2 games. And they are a team more than anything that likes the drama. Even though they have not been successful at that in the postseason all of the time, they like the drama, and they showed that this year. They like the drama. They just didn't have that chance this year. So I have no doubt that the A's will be very good next year. I'm very excited to see a rotation of Montas, Minea, Luzardo, bring up AJ Puk. I think that's going to be a really good rotation. A lot of the bullpen I hope sticks around. I have no doubt that they'll be good again next year. The biggest worry will be what happens with Marcus Semien.
I'm looking forward to our predictions next year for baseball.
True.
If we're continuing doing our show.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we are.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will. To be honest with you, we've seen success with it. Anyway, so I just got another text, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Asking about the Packers.
Okay. Hit me with it.
So it's actually a pretty decent segue into asking you about and talking about our conversation we had earlier this week.
Yeah.
About MVPs and all that jazz. What are your thoughts about Aaron Rodgers, MJ? So go ahead. You have your rant because you know darn well that you're gonna be like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers, he's the best thing ever, and blah blah blah. And
yeah.
Go ahead. Enjoy it. Enjoy your time.
So, first of all, I would like to preface this saying, what Russell Wilson has done in Seattle is incredible. The Seahawks have finally there's more. Bruce.
I'm just
not that much of a piece of crap. I'm gonna give the Seahawks their credit before I dismantle the fact that Aaron Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson this year.
Wow.
Also, Astros officially win. Rest in peace, Oakland A's. Okay. What the Seahawks have built their identity on since Russell Wilson came in 2011 and Pete Carroll was there, Legion of Boom, running the football, the ridiculously loud stadium. We're gonna make you so freaking uncomfortable in our house. What they've done this year, transforming their offense from season to season, the only comparison I have is the Packers transforming their offense from last year, or really from 2017 to the first year of Matt LaFleur. What they have been able to do, turning Russell Wilson, the reason Russell Wilson hasn't won MVP in his career for the most part every single year is because they run the ball so much. And he gets some running opportunities, but he does not have statistically the same amount of pass opportunities that somebody like Aaron Rodgers would have. This year, he has a lot more of those opportunities, and so then you go look at his stats this year. We're going to pull it up.
There you go.
16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,285 passing yards. So right now, the man is on pace for 64 touchdowns thrown and 5,000 yards.
Real quick, MJ. Apparently the secret's out. I have some former basketball kids that I coached jumping on Twitch
oh boy,
chat.
Let's go.
How quickly it spreads. Somehow it got out that I have a live Twitch show.
Let's go. What's up, boys?
And suddenly, boom.
That would explain why we have 15 viewers, yeah.
So,
there we go. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
So apparently I have to be, I swear with them anyway. So.
Yeah.
But apparently now I have to be a little bit more, PC with it.
You're fine. I don't care. It's fine, Bruce.
Yeah,
boys,
you don't care.
boys.
I love
Okay.
my job.
Okay, we're gonna take a break then, real quick. Okay, boys. For those of you who are, Bruce's athletes, number one, you're very lucky. He may be a piece of crap sometimes, and he may be sarcastic, but he's very good at what he does. So cherish that. Number two, give him crap because he deserves it and he enjoys it, even if he yells at you. Number three, if you have questions, feel free to drop them and we'll answer as best as we can after my rant is done. So, back to what I was talking about before. Now that we have the Bruce clan in the house, what Russell Wilson has done this season is incredible. However, what Aaron Rodgers has been able to do is more incredible, and I'll dive in. So number one, and I think this is the most important statistic out of all of them. Obviously, we like passing yards, right? We like touchdowns. We like comparing those things. What do we always say in playoff games when the teams are really close, Bruce? What do the announcers always say the game is going to come down to?
Ronald running the ball? Come on now.
No, the turnover battle, right?
Oh, turnover. Well, I was actually going to say defense, but I mean, it's kind of similar.
Kind of, yes. It's within the same realm, right?
Correct.
So, the biggest thing to me is also these people apparently know, or they're just saying my name. I don't know, whatever. They're like, MJ, what's up, boys? So, anyway, Aaron Rodgers this season not only hasn't thrown an interception, he has not made a turnover-worthy play.
No, he hasn't.
In 4 games. Okay?
Right.
So when you look at it, and what makes it even more impressive, he's only had Davante Adams for 1 game.
Right.
He didn't have Allen Lazard, his number 2, in the last game, and he made Robert Tonyan look like George Kittle, but even better. Okay? I think Robert Tonyan is going to be very good, but there is no way.
Can you imagine what Aaron Rodgers would do with Cole Kmet?
Probably the same thing he just did with Robert Tonyan, because I don't think Cole Kmet is any better than Robert Tonyan. If Cole Kmet was really better than Robert Tonyan, he would have gotten drafted earlier. Nobody wanted Cole Kmet.
He's a second-round pick. He was rated the best tight end in the NFL draft.
Okay, if he was really that good, he would have gotten drafted earlier. Anyway, get out of my face, Bruce. Okay, so when we look at the Packers, have always been in the last couple years, they have Davante Adams, and then after that, there's a huge drop off. Even this year, that's still true. So the thing I want to look at is comparing the Seahawks' top 2 receivers to the Packers' top 2 receivers.
DK Metcalf
and Tyler
Lockett and
David Moore.
Those
are their top 3. Okay, so DK Metcalf has 403 yards receiving.
Who's a stud, by the way. If you do not have him in fantasy football,
pick him up. Or get him. I don't care. Do whatever you can.
Well,
yeah, I know. No,
he
will. He'll be gone. But do whatever you can to draft the man.
Stud.
So
especially a keeper.
So those 3 combined have 880, give or take, rounding in my head. Math is hard. About 880 receiving yards, okay? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, 900. We'll round up a little bit.
We can round up. I'm down.
Davante Adams is the number 3 receiver right now in terms of receiving yards because he hasn't played. So through 2 games, because he played about half of the second game of the season, he's at about 200 receiving yards. So let's say he'd be at 350. Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound through 4 games, Davante Adams about 350 receiving yards?
I'm okay with that. Unfortunately, I don't have my other monitor up because I'm an idiot and I forgot an adapter again.
That's okay. Allen Lazard is at 250. MVS is at 210. Obviously, that's without Davante Adams, so those numbers would be lower. And I think we can all agree on that. So I think the argument I want to make here, the biggest reason people wouldn't... I'm going to go into a little bit of your roots here, Bruce.
Let's go.
The biggest reason in the GOAT conversation between MJ and LeBron, the biggest thing that I've seen LeBron supporters have is how much he makes his teammates better, right? The passing, the assists, the court vision, things like that. Aaron Rodgers, so far, he has 6 receivers over 100 receiving yards. Okay? Now, Russell Wilson has 5, but he's had his top 2 receivers. So my point in all of this is, I think, and why I say it's not even close, is Aaron Rodgers has been doing this with running backs and tight ends for the most part. He trusts Allen Lazard, but you put Allen Lazard on the Seahawks, he's the number 4 receiver. You put MVS on the Seahawks, he's the number 4 receiver. Davante Adams is the only receiver that would actually be a number 1 on most teams that the Packers have on their roster. Last year, Aaron Jones had a ridiculous amount of receiving yards. He's not even really doing that. Jamal Williams really isn't, other than he had a good receiving game in week 4 because they didn't have Adams or Lazard. So basically, Aaron Rodgers this year has the ability to take anyone who steps on the field and make them a better receiver than they would be on almost any team. Russell Wilson has Tyler Lockett, who's one of the most talented receivers in the NFL. He has DK Metcalf, who physically is more imposing than anyone outside of Julio Jones and Michael Thomas.
Dude, he's scary big.
He's incredible, and heaven forbid you see that man with his shirt off. It's scary. So my point is, I do not believe that Russell Wilson would be able to do that, put up the same numbers in the same system with the same receivers and the same cast.
Okay, so basically you're saying the long and short of it is the players that are surrounded with Russell Wilson, I almost said Westbrook, are better than Aaron Rodgers has around him.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, go ahead.
And what I was going to say is, I talked earlier about how the Seahawks have always been a run-heavy team. Part of the reason is because they didn't have good receivers.
Truth. 100%.
So what that tells me,
they had Baldwin. Baldwin was a good receiver 2 years ago.
Is he better than Lockett or Metcalf?
Lockett was actually a number 2 at the time.
Right, because he was in the beginning of his career.
Rookie. By the way, mind you, this is completely off to random as all hell.
Yeah.
But he totally screwed me over in fantasy playoffs. I was in the championship game on that. Sorry. Anyway, sorry, just bitterness that I have. Anyway, continue your rant.
So, the reason, in my opinion, Pete Carroll's not an idiot, right? If he had Aaron Rodgers, he would send him out and he would throw with the same consistency they've been throwing this year. Why hasn't Russell Wilson thrown as much ever in his career as he has this year? He didn't have the weapons, and Pete Carroll and whoever was in that Seahawks front office did not believe in him. Okay? So now that Russell Wilson has the weapons, yeah, he's producing with the weapons. But I guarantee you swap what these two quarterbacks have, Rodgers would put up very similar to the same statistics, and Wilson would be worse.
All right, fair enough.
And so with that, if anybody tries to argue that it's not Wilson or Rodgers in the MVP conversation right now, I think they're ridiculous. The Chiefs have more weapons than anyone can count. The Bills, Josh Allen has been good, but he still is making some plays that really are questionable, and he still doesn't have the decision-making of a Wilson or a Rodgers or even a Patrick Mahomes, who still makes some decisions that are questionable. He runs around the pocket like a young Brett Favre still. So I'm looking forward to him getting a little wiser in that aspect, because he still takes some sacks that are bad.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's generally my argument.
You're still getting after it with this. Like, you made your point, dude.
Yeah, I know. But it's...
And honestly, I actually do agree with you. Aaron Rodgers has been an absolute freaking stud. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He only has one quality receiver right now. And frankly, he's got an offensive coordinator that's calling plays that are conducive. God, what's his name? It's the head coach. Their head
Matt
coach.
LaFleur.
Yeah, thank you, LaFleur. He's been calling plays that have been conducive to success for Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah.
And the thing...
Man, you're still getting after it.
No. What I want to talk about the play calling, because we went over that. That's been the big problem for the Bears, right? The NFL right now is moving towards a motion-based offense.
Correct.
That's why the 49ers were so successful. That's why the Rams were so successful in 2018.
Correct.
I see a
'Cause
very
easier to
similar trend.
It's easier
Exactly.
to identify the defense that they're in.
And with how intelligent Aaron Rodgers is, giving him, he can do it anyway. But
I
giving
agree.
him that option of now the motion, the deception, I think, and this may be a hot take, behind Aaron Rodgers, the most valuable person in that offense is Tyler Ervin.
Ooh, sorry. Hold on. No, what I love right now is like we got some. Well, hey, what's up,
Oh,
guys? We're
Dak Prescott. Oh boy.
oh,
Okay,
hey,
Sean.
hey.
Okay. Let me break it down for you,
Oh
Sean.
no,
You
hold
want to
on, hold
talk
on, hold
about
on.
you want to talk
Before
about
he's attacking, let's keep this under control right now. Let's keep this under control. So, no, one of the things actually, Sean messaged me on the side and wanted me to bring up because we've been talking way too much about the Packers. Is the $70 million that Robert Quinn was invested in, and he's not been on the damn field for the
Yup.
Bears at all. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen the advanced analytics on it at all. I've seen Khalil Mack, his advanced analytics, and he's been a stud, but he just hasn't gotten the results.
Yeah.
So we'll continue that with yes, I 100% agree with the comment that he made. The Chicago Bears should have signed Jadeveon Clowney because
Ooh.
that man has not only is he younger, but while you were doing your amazing, I'm gonna say rant. Sorry, buddy, but I'm gonna say rant. I looked at
Analytical breakdown.
that. Sure. Uh, I looked at similar players that of our Quinn's stature, for
Yeah.
lack of I gotta keep saying that. Jeff Cross, Ty Warren, Bernard Weddington, Ernie Ladd, Lee Williams. Basically, what
Who?
I'm saying is
Who?
right. And yeah, dude, and like no disrespect to those gentlemen that played in the NFL because they got a whole hell of a lot further than I ever did in football. But who?
Who?
Like what? Come on.
Who?
All I'm saying is again, this could be another instance of Ryan Pace deciding to go after someone that he thinks could be successful. And to be honest with you, Quinn had some good success last year, marginal success in the years before. However, did show a lot of signs of injury, wear and tear, bad knees, but took a chance on him. Obviously, he didn't play in the first 3 games, or
Yeah.
limited in the third game. Didn't play in the first 2 games. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it as a successful signing. Could be because of the system that they're running. Could be because Eddie Goldman not being there. I mean, Akeem Hicks is having a successful year. So
They should have signed Cam Newton and they should have signed Jadeveon Clowney.
correct. I mean, we've heard my rants like in previous episodes about Cam Newton. How I wanted Cam Newton the whole time.
They had the money to sign both.
The whole time. So that said, until he proves me wrong, Nick Foles is Foles gold, y'all. Foles gold.
You
That's
right.
why I'm rocking it. I'm gonna rock it until he shows me something different.
You right.
But yeah.
All right,
so
yeah,
I'm
the
curious
Dak
now.
Prescott. The Dak
Oh,
Prescott.
He's going at the Dak.
So
Hey, that could be the Bears' next quarterback next year, mind you. And I just said that. So legit, I said.
you want
to
Dak?
Yeah, Dak could be the Chicago Bears' next quarterback next year.
So obviously Dak
Or
Prescott.
Aaron Rodgers.
What? Yeah, Ryan. The Bears are cheap. You're right. Okay.
True.
Dak Prescott obviously much better than Cam
People
Newton.
just spend their money in terrible places.
True. Prescott is better than Newton. He's better than Foles. He's better than Trubisky. That's given.
I would say he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I would agree. However, I will make the same argument with Prescott that I made with Russell Wilson. Can you imagine, Bruce, if you put Aaron Rodgers and gave him Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, and that offensive line? So, yeah, Prescott puts up impressive numbers. He executes the plays that he's given. However, I do not think he is the type of quarterback that can make average players better. And so when I look at a quarterback I want to go spend a ridiculous amount of money on, to be honest, I would rather the Bears, granted your talent evaluation, something behind sticking with, Prescott is talented, he can do well. At that point, you just have to try to find the talent around him, right? However, what teams have won Super Bowls in the last couple years? Teams with quarterbacks that they didn't pay yet.
Oh, word, I got you. Hold on.
So, Patrick Mahomes was on his rookie deal. Jared Goff was on his rookie deal. Jimmy Garoppolo had not yet entered into the phase of his contract where he was on his extension. So they still had a lot of money. So the issue with the Chicago Bears, in my opinion, going after Dak Prescott would be, you haven't seen what he can do in an offense where he doesn't have the most talented 4 position players combined that any offense in the NFL has. Because if you can show me 3 wide receivers and a running back who are more talented and more dynamic than those 4, I'll be impressed. So, yeah, if you can get Dak, do it. But
100%.
I think that drafting a quarterback or finding a quarterback in the draft, in terms of the last 10 years of the NFL, that will make the Bears more successful than getting Dak Prescott. Because then they don't have the money to sign talent on offense, which they haven't even been willing to spend. So heaven forbid you give Dak $40 million, the Bears won't spend a dime on anyone else for the next 10 years.
They spent $70 million. Oh, you're talking about per year.
I'm talking about per year.
Word. All right, so I'm going to say before I lose this train of thought.
Yeah.
So because we obviously don't have a producer to do it, I had to do it on the side while you were talking. Looking at Aaron Rodgers' skill position players he's actually had some pretty solid skill position players. And I'm not saying...
In his career, yes.
Career, yes.
Yeah, so, for sure.
So even last year, I would not mind his skill. Aaron Jones had a pretty solid year last year at running back.
For sure.
MVS... You and I, like, he's not better than Devontae Adams, okay?
No.
And then Jimmy Graham, okay, whatever. His other tight end was Mercedes Lewis, and they still went 13-3. But some would argue that the reason why they went 13-3 was because their defense, even though I did not give it the credit that it deserved, they went 13-3 a lot too because their defense was pretty solid.
Yeah.
So that's legit, but. To go with that thought process, though, of Aaron Rodgers not having guys around him, legit, dude, I'm sorry, but that's not true. Like, I always forget about Greg Jennings.
I'm not talking about all time. I'm talking about right now.
All right, but I'm just...
Yeah, in 2011, Rodgers had the most stacked offense of history, and that's why he won an MVP.
People forget about how...
Jermichael Finley?
Yes, he was an effing stud.
He was like 6'6", 250 pounds. He was a beast. So absolutely, in 2011, Aaron Rodgers was in his...
You're getting upset now.
No, Bruce, you cannot pull this on me. Bruce, look at me. In 2011, I will give you, Aaron Rodgers had the most weapons he's ever had to work with, probably some of the most weapons in NFL history. I'm only 20, but in my lifetime, that's probably the most weapons an offense has had. In 2014, you cannot tell me that he had that level of talent. Still better than what he has right now. However, not 2011 level. I believe at that time it was Nelson, James Jones, Devontae Adams, I think, was in his rookie year, so he was coming along. Still a very good team.
He was still good.
Yeah, still a very good team. I mean, rookie Adams is your 3. That's a good team, right? 2019, 2020. The numbers that Aaron Rodgers, again, this is what, I mean, if we're looking at what Rodgers is projected to put up right now. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to continue on this pace, but right now, he's projected to put up 4,800 yards and 52 touchdowns. And at this point, would probably only throw 2 interceptions.
In the highest offensive output year, too.
Okay.
So you're basically saying he's going to have a career year in a year that is predominantly offensive minded. Okay.
Okay.
But it's also because that's also because they're pulling like more. They're not giving as much to defenses, for lack of a better way of putting it, and it's more of an offensively driven league.
Then how come the Packers are giving up less points than they have in the last couple of years?
Because their defense was garbage as all hell before.
Okay.
I don't know.
So the Packers' defense somehow got better. So it's supposed to be Aaron Rodgers' fault that other teams' defenses are getting worse?
Okay, you're getting defensive now. Relax, bro. So I'm gonna.
You're coming at me, Bruce.
I'm not coming at you at all.
You're coming at me, Bruce.
I would much rather have Aaron Rodgers on my team right now than the two quarterbacks. So
Sean Rodgers won MVP.
Ryan, we'll answer your question in a second. We can, and yeah, I would actually put Favre in the top 5 all time. I would
for sure.
Hold on, but under what coach did
McCarthy both times?
Was it McCarthy?
McCarthy both times. McCarthy became head coach in 2008, and then he left at the end of 2018.
Okay, fair enough. So, actually, I kind of like what Ryan was asking there. So top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Who are your MJ top 5 quarterbacks? Putting you on the spot, bro. No studying now.
Okay, I would say.
Go.
Brady. Are we ranking?
You want to go 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Probably 1 to 5.
Go 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
That makes it tough.
I would say, and I very well might be forgetting someone. Right now, I'd have Rodgers at 5, assuming he continues on the path, especially if he can win another championship. Like if they win the Super Bowl this year, it could happen. If he can win another championship or another MVP, and continue on his production for at least this year and 2 more, I'll put him at 5. I'll put Breeze at 4. I'll put.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's incredibly impressive what he's been able to do consistently and at his age now.
But what's crazy though is like that wasn't immediately one of the quarterbacks that came to my mind. So to be honest with you, that kind of F's with my list.
Yeah. Then I'll go Favre 3, Manning 2, Brady 1. As much as it hurts me to say.
Okay, I'll go Rodgers 5. I agree with that. 4, I'll go Montana.
I was thinking about that. I wasn't sure.
So speaking of that, I would actually have Marino in the top 5 if he won a Super Bowl, and that shouldn't take away from his accomplishments at all. But in mine, I need to have a Super Bowl. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. You have if you stay healthy, you have plenty of time to
make
it happen.
So, like I said, Montana, Favre. Gosh, and there's like these top. I battle with these big time because I really like Peyton Manning and I really like. I don't like Tom Brady.
I don't like him as a human being. I like him as a quarterback.
TB12. Stupid.
You're just salty because you're gonna lose to him tonight.
We'll get to my prediction in a little bit. Number 2, I would put. Number 2, I would put. Sorry, I have the game on, or not the game, but the pre-game on.
It's okay.
Number 2, I would put Peyton Manning, unfortunately, and number 1, I would put Brady.
Okay, that's fair.
1, Brady. 2, Manning. 3, who did I say? 3.
Favre,
yes.
Yeah.
4, Montana. 5, Rodgers.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. Yeah, I think the hardest part is how different the eras are, and
That's fair.
It's a lot different than comparing past baseball players, because baseball, obviously the analytics have changed and there's more home runs, more strikeouts, more walks, like people throw harder, but it's still the same game. But like how ridiculous football has changed from 1960 to now. You look at baseball,
course.
Okay, there were still guys who probably threw 100 miles an hour. Nobody cared, but I'm sure there were guys who threw 100, and I'm sure there were guys, you put them in today's baseball, they'll hit 40 home runs and strike out 150 times. Like, you know, baseball is much more comparable throughout the ages. Football is not. So, like,
Agree.
you look at Bart Starr. He won the first 2 Super Bowls. A lot of people have him at the top of their list. They didn't win those Super Bowls because of him. He barely did
not at
anything.
all.
He
And to be honest
he
with you,
threw
if
for
you
like
look at his stats were super mediocre.
yeah, he threw for like 250 combined yards in those 2 Super Bowl wins.
That's also like Chicago Bear fans saying that McMahon was the best quarterback the Bears have ever had.
I mean, in terms of the fact that they won, yeah, but in terms statistically, talent-wise, no. It was Cutler.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's the most talented quarterback you've ever had, and he's the most talented quarterback the Packers have ever had.
Smoking Jay Cutler.
No, Jay Cutler has helped us better than everyone.
Oh, quiet. So that's that. We only got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to move on, if you don't mind, MJ, to our picks for
Yes.
this week. Not this weekend, but our respective teams that we enjoy.
Packers aren't playing this weekend, so that's all you.
Bye, so they already got the W. I want to give you guys who I think is going to win the game tonight. Mind you, I'm 4-0 this year. Let's just say that I'm 4-0 right now picking Bears games. I've done like research,
Ooh.
and I've looked at game tape. Well, I usually do before I actually say anything, and it's limited game tape.
Fair.
I've seen like 22 man cameras.
Yeah.
4 games, whatnot, blah blah. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to legitimize my picks, which is total bullshit anyway.
You right.
Whatever. But this week I am actually going to say the final score will be in my pick 24-17. Your Chicago Bears win this game. What? Yeah, dude. Okay, right. I don't disagree. You have a 43-year-old quarterback on a short week. You have countless injuries on the offensive side of the ball for the Buccaneers.
They're all playing.
I'm sorry?
They're all playing.
Correct. But there have been injuries.
You just wish you had that type of offensive weapons. Anyway, go ahead.
All not true. So that said, though, weird things happen on a short week, and I don't think we are going to see a repeated week of Foles gold. I don't. I actually think he's going to play fairly well this week, and I also think that the Buccaneers have not faced 2 corners in the league, or a corner in the league, let alone 2, that rank as highly as they do defending wide receivers. No wide receiver has caught a touchdown pass against the Chicago Bears this year. And I actually think that they're going to sack Brady, I'll say 2 times tonight.
Are you just making that up that no receiver has caught a touchdown?
Nope.
So in the Lions, wait, no, that cannot be true.
No, that's a stat that I read earlier today.
So in the Lions game, no receiver caught a touchdown.
It was T.J. Hawkinson. He caught 1, and I think I can't remember the final. But the only reason why I know T.J. off the top of my head is because I have him in fantasy.
Same. Interesting. But they haven't faced.
You're not wrong, but they also faced Ridley. They also faced Julio Jones.
No.
Neither one
Julio
of them
Jones was not playing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They faced Ridley.
It was
you're
just
right.
Calvin Ridley, and he burned you. They just never got a.
He did.
He didn't catch a touchdown.
He did not catch a touchdown.
No.
He caught. He just had that big play at the beginning of the game, and they called
Yeah.
him at like 10 or something like that.
Yeah. But you didn't face Kenny Galladay.
True. So, but still, regardless of that, that's still an accurate stat.
I don't know. I think I think Jalen Johnson is going to get a wake-up call against Mike Evans and that offense.
That's fine too, because I have Mike Evans in fantasy.
You're biased, Bruce.
But anyways, I'm going to say your Chicago Bears win 24-17 tonight. We are going to rock that
stuff. I will take my Trubisky jersey off and not rock that and rock my Third Down Thursday gear,
Let's
which
go.
I am actually wearing underneath it though. But hey,
I got it
so
for
real quick.
Real talk.
So I got buddies here, just so you know. So we might have to end a little early.
Bring them on. Let's go.
That's true. Well, I also got to open the door for them. So, but no. In all seriousness, though, little quick promo. I did my pick, but I got a couple shirts left over, y'all. So if you guys want to quick DM me, you guys want a shirt, give me your size and all that jazz, and I'll get it to you. If we don't have it in stock anymore, I hope to get some more made. They might not be as nice and colorful, but you like to adapt. You like to do something different.
Yeah, change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Change it up a little bit. So MJ, you got any final thoughts for our viewers?
Final thoughts.
Oh, you know what we didn't touch on? Real quick. I think we're gonna get through a full NFL season. So stop with the thoughts.
For sure. It's the National Football League. It's a $15 billion industry. We're going to get through the season. Some teams, Titans, might suffer for being idiots. But let's be honest, the Titans were going to win the Super Bowl anyway. The NFL does not care.
Exactly. The NFL does not give a crap about any of it. They're going to push through. You know why? Because it's the Shield. The Shield never goes down.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I will be shocked beyond belief if any team plays less than 14 games.
There's only one way that the NFL does not finish their games this year, and that's if that bubble cities that they end up going to for the Super Bowl and or the AFC NFC playoffs ends up restricting any kind of activities or anything like that. So I'm going to go out there on the limb and say it's going to be a state mandate that's going to cause anything to end or stop.
You know how they get around that? They just do it in Florida and Texas.
Everything's bigger in Florida?
Texas.
Is that the same?
It's Texas.
Oh, it's Texas.
It's Texas. Bruce, I just moved there. No, but the last thing I will say is I'm very excited. My room in Texas is a lot bigger and a lot better than this. So
all I'm saying is that pool.
You're right. I have it. I know in my head how I can do a show by the pool. Like I have it set up.
So when this happens, we need to organize something, and not during the basketball season because I'm unavailable, obviously.
No, but, Thanksgiving morning.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
If we can, well, Bruce, we'll tell all of our viewers however many people we have in here right now. We are going to organize.
We got like 4?
9.
9.
So for y'all here and whoever sees this later, we are going to organize the best show that we have had.
That's the goal.
For Thanksgiving morning. No, that's not the goal, Bruce. We're going to do it. Get out of here, Bruce.
Hell yeah, I like that attitude.
It will be the best show that we have had up to this point. And with that, we are going to let the good people go because Bruce has the friends over.
Hold on, he's here.
Oh, he's here? Is he coming in?
Oh, this is live stuff right now.
Get him in here.
Can you get the door? Oh, this is good.
Bring him in.
He's coming in. He's coming in right now.
We got 3 minutes for their hot takes. Whatever they got.
3 minutes. So the infamous Tuna is walking in right now.
Tuna?
Tuna. His nickname is Tuna.
What a guy.
He's a great dude. Great dude. I've actually known him since kindergarten. How crazy is that?
Wow, Bruce, you're old.
30. How old am I? 36. So I've known him
31 years?
31 to 32 years, around there.
Dang. You really are old, Bruce.
I am old.
It's okay.
He's coming down. Hey, Tuna. Hey, Tuna. The dogs are going crazy too. Now it's all shenanigans. Now it's just craziness.
It's just shenanigans.
It's just the end of the show, so it works out well. Tuna, you want to say something to the viewing party? You can talk. It's okay.
You can get. Come on.
No, he doesn't want to be on.
He doesn't want to. Okay, that's okay.
Oh, he's got the gear. Here, toss it over. He brought the gear. He brought the hoodie.
Let's go.
He's got the hoodie. Bam! He got the hoodie. Let's go.
Let's go. That looks good.
Baby. I'll just say, go Bears. Let's go Bears.
Okay, get out of here. We'll talk to you all later.
All right, good deal. Good.